being recorded. I'll call for the invocation. Ms. Garrison, would you do the invocation, please?
O Father, Lord of heaven and earth, thank you for hiding the truth from those who think themselves so wise and clever, and for revealing it to the childlike. Every day, God gives us an opportunity to choose to operate in the fruits of the Spirit. We can do good or we can do evil. We can be obedient to the will of God, or we can follow our own prideful conscience. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for directing our path so that we walk in goodness and kindness, love, joy, patience, and peace. In Psalm 5:8, we ask you to lead us along the right path so that our enemies will not conquer us. As decisions are made this evening, convey to our officials clearly what to do and show them which way to turn so that their choices are made for the good of the citizens, our neighbors, and not for vanity or power. Set a guard, O Lord, over our mouths and keep watch over the door of our lips so that everyone here is respectful of your presence. In Jesus' holy name, amen.
Amen. Thank you, Ms. Garrison.
Amen.
Council Clerk, would you do the call the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason.
Present.
Councilman Herring.
Here.
Councilwoman Smallwood. Councilwoman Smallwood. I'll come back. Councilman Williams.
Here.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Here.
Councilwoman Ferguson.
Here.
Councilwoman Jones.
Here.
Councilwoman Smallwood.
I'm here counting.
Thank you. 7 in attendance.
Thank you, Council Clerk. All right. Is there a motion to adopt the agenda?
Make a motion to adopt the agenda. This is Councilwoman Eason.
Thank you, Councilwoman Eason. Is there a second?
Second.
It was Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Thank you. Is there any discussion? Hearing none. Council Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason.
Yes.
Councilman Herring.
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood.
Yes.
Councilman Williams.
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson.
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones.
Yes.
7 in agreement.
Is there a motion to adopt the minutes? The approval of the minutes. The minutes are, I'm sorry, just a second, Councilman Williams, let me read the minute. The minutes are for December 11th, 2020, a special regular meeting. December 14th, 2020, a regular meeting. December 15th, 2020, a public hearing. January 4, 2021, a work session. January 6, 2020, a special work session. January 6th, an executive session closed. And January the 11th, 2021, a regular meeting. Is there a motion to accept approve the minutes?
So move.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Is there a second?
A second. This is Councilwoman Eason.
Thank you, Councilwoman Eason. Council Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason.
Yes.
Councilman Herring,
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood,
Yes.
thank you. Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones.
Yes.
7 in agreement.
All right. We will now move into the legislation part of the meeting. First piece of legislation is CR 04-2021, a charter resolution to amend Article 9, Personnel, Section 902, Clerk of the Council, for the purpose of clarifying the role of any deputy clerk to the council. Council Clerk, would you read the resolution, please?
Charter Resolution CR 04-2021, sponsor Angela D. Ferguson, Council Vice President, co-sponsor Deborah A. Eason, Councilwoman. Public hearing January 19th, 2021. Session, regular session, date of introduction, February 8th, 2021. Whereas the City of Glenarden is a municipal corporation of the state of Maryland, operating under Article 11-E of the Constitution of Maryland and sequence 4-301 at sequence of the local government article of the annotated code of Maryland as amended. And whereas the city pursuant to Article 11-E of the Constitution of Maryland at Section 3 is empowered to amend the city charter. And whereas the city pursuant to Article 9, personnel as Section 901, authority to employ personnel is empowered to employ such officers and employees as it deems necessary to execute the powers and duties provided by this charter or other state law and to operate the city government. And whereas the council pursuant to Article 6, general powers of the council as Section 602, enumeration of specific powers as subsection A17, departments is empowered to create, change, and abolish offices, departments, or agencies other than the offices, departments, and agencies established by this charter, to assign additional functions or duties to offices, departments, or agencies established by this charter, but not including the power to discontinue or assign to any other office, department, or agency any function or duty assigned by this charter to a particular office, department, or agency. And whereas it is the sense of the council that the city's residents will be better served by employing an individual to serve in the role of deputy clerk to the council for the purpose of fulfilling the duties assigned in the deputy clerk position description attached hereto as Exhibit A, which position will be an addition to the council's office and require working a minimum of 20 hours a week as provided in the city's budget and the position description, and who shall, while on duty, work in the same office and at the same time as the clerk. Now therefore be it resolved and ordained that Section 902, clerk to the council of the charter of the city of Glenarden be, and it is hereby amended to read as follows. There shall be a clerk to the council who shall be appointed by the president of the council with the approval of a majority of the council, and who shall serve at the pleasure of the council. The clerk shall attend every meeting of the council and keep a full and accurate account of the proceedings of the council. The clerk shall keep such other records and perform such other duties as may be required by this charter or the council. There may also be a deputy clerk to the council who shall be appointed by the president of the council with the approval of a majority of the council, and who shall serve at the pleasure of the council. Now therefore be it further ordained by the City Council of Glenarden, Maryland, that the amendment to the charter of the city of Glenarden hereby proposed by this enactment adopted this 8th day of February 2020, should be 2021, shall be and become effective upon the 50th day after its passage by the city unless petitioned to referendum in accordance with section 4-301 as sequence of the local government article of the annotated Code of Maryland within 40 days following its passage. A complete and exact copy of this charter resolution shall be posted in the city offices located at 8600 Glenard Parkway, Glenard, Maryland for 40 days following its passage by the mayor and council, and a fair summary of the charter resolution shall be published in a newspaper having general circulation in the city not less than 4 times at weekly intervals, also within the 40-day period following its adoption by the city.
All right. Is there a motion to accept resolution? I'm sorry. Charter Resolution 04-2021.
So move.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilwoman Ferguson. Any discussion? Hearing none, Council Clerk, would you take the vote, please?
Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
No.
Councilwoman Smallwood?
No.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
I will abstain.
Councilwoman Ferguson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones?
Yes.
We have four yeses, 2 noes, and 1 abstain.
Okay. This resolution passes. The next resolution is Resolution R31-2021, a resolution to authorize the purchase of tough books for the police department. Council Clerk, would you read the resolution, please?
Resolution R31-2021, introduced by Robin Jones, Council President, co-sponsor at the request of the administration. Public hearing January 19th, 2021. Date of introduction February 8th, 2021. Whereas the council has determined that it is in the public interest to authorize the Glenarden Police Department to purchase tough books and related items for use by its police officers to increase the public health and safety. And whereas the council has previously approved in the budget the purchase of equipment to outfit its police officers. And whereas it is necessary to purchase 4 Panasonic tough books, standard Win 10 Pro Intel Core i5 7300U and accessories for the total sum of $15,408 to properly outfit a Glenarden police officer. And whereas the 4 Panasonic tough books with the proper specifications can be purchased from Global Public Safety, Inc. under a competitively bid contract with Prince George's County. And whereas the purchase is authorized without a formal bid process pursuant to Section 818B of the City Charter. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Glenarden, Maryland, sitting in a regular session this 8th day of February 2021 as follows. 1, that the purchase from the Global Public Safety LLC of 4 standard Win 10 Pro Intel Core i5 7300U tough books and accessories for a total of $15,408 per the proposal attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. B, and it is hereby approved. And 2, payment for the police tough books and accessory shall be made from the capital project outlay support equipment line item number 836010-55-50 in the budget. 3, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage.
Thank you, Council Clerk. Is there a motion to accept Resolution R31-2021?
So move.
Thank you, Councilman Herring.
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. Any discussion? Hearing none, Council Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood?
Yes.
Councilman Williams,
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson,
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones.
Yes.
7 yeses.
All right, that resolution passes. The next resolution will be R32, 2021, a resolution to authorize the purchase to outfit the police vehicles. Council Clerk, would you read the resolution into the minutes?
Resolution R32-2021, introduced by Robin Jones, Council President, co-sponsors at the request of the administration. Public hearing, January 19, 2021. Date of introduction, February 8th, 2021. Whereas the council has determined that it is in the public interest to authorize the Glen Police Department to purchase vehicles related items for use by its police officers to increase the public health and safety. And whereas the council has previously approved in the budget the purchase of police vehicle equipment to outfit its police officers. And whereas it is necessary to fully outfit the said police vehicle with police lights and sirens, computer capability, and to make certain other modifications. The total cost for these modifications for the total price of $37,940.70 as per invoice from Global Public Safety LLC attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. And whereas proper specifications can be purchased from Global Public Inc. for the same price as obtained under a competitive bid contract with Prince George's County. Whereas the price for the vehicle fit out are based on the state of Maryland and Prince George's County contract for purchase of these services. And whereas the purchase is authorized without a formal bid process pursuant to Section 818B of the City Charter. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Glen, Maryland, sitting in a regular session this 8th day of February 2021 as follows. 1, that the outfit for the said police vehicle with police license, sirens, computer capability, and to make certain other modifications for the total price of $37,940.70 as per the invoice from Global Public Safety attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. B, and it is hereby approved. And 2, payment for the outfitting for the police vehicle shall be made from the capital projects outlay, support equipment, line item number 8367308010 in the budget. And this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage.
All right, thank you, Council Clerk. Is there a motion to accept Resolution R32, 2021?
So moved.
Ms. Ferguson? Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Herring. Any discussion? Hearing none, Council Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones?
Yes.
7 yeses.
All right, that resolution R32, 2021 passes. Next resolution is Resolution R33, 2021, a resolution to authorize the purchase of 2 police vehicles. Council Clerk, would you read it into the minutes, please?
Resolution R33-2021, introduced by Robin Jones, Council President, co-sponsors at the request of the administration. Public hearing, January 19th, 2021, date of introduction, February 8th, 2021. Whereas the council has determined that it is in the public interest to authorize the Glen Police Department to purchase vehicles, radios, and related items for use by its police officers to increase the public health and safety. And whereas council has previously approved in the budget the purchase of police vehicles and equipment to outfit its police officers. And whereas it is necessary to purchase 2 2021 police interceptor utility wheel drive base vehicles for use by the Glen Arden police officers from New Holland Auto Group at a price of $34,995 per vehicle, based on the state of Maryland's contract for purchase of law enforcement vehicles as per the invoice attached as Exhibit A. And whereas the purchase is authorized without a formal bid process pursuant to Section 818B of the City Charter. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Glen Arden, Maryland, sitting in regular session this 8th day of February, 2021 as follows. That the purchase of 2 new 2021 Police Interceptor Utilities wheel drive base police vehicles from New Holland Auto Group for a total amount of $34,995 per vehicle, per the proposal attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. Be and it is hereby approved, and payment for the police vehicles shall be made from the capital project outlay support equipment line item number 8367308010 in the budget, and this resolution shall take effect immediately.
Upon passage. Okay, I just want to make a correction. That should be the purchase of 2 new 2021 Police Interceptor Utility all-wheel drive base police vehicles. Okay. Is there a resolution? I'm sorry, is there a motion to accept the resolution R33-2021 into? Thank you, Councilwoman Ferguson. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Herring. Any discussion?
Yes, Madam President.
Councilman Herring?
Yes, I know it keeps on saying 2 vehicles at $34,995, but somewhere in this legislation it showed the total price that we're paying for those 2, which should be $69,9 something.
Well, it's 2 at $34,000 a piece.
Right, but I think there should be a line in there that says, you know, the total cost of this purchase, because that's what we're authorizing is the total cost, which should be $69,990.
Okay.
I mean, that should be somewhere in here.
Okay.
Okay, so could under Council Clerk, under line item 1, can we make line item 2 the total price of both of the vehicles and then move 2 to 3 and 3 to 4?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Any other discussion? Hearing none, Council Clerk, please take the vote.
Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones?
Yes, with the change.
7 yeses.
Okay, that resolution passed. I'm sorry. Resolution R33-2021 passes. And our last legislation for the evening will be legislation or resolution R34-2021, a resolution to authorize the purchase of 2 in-car radios for the vehicles and 1 portable police radio. Council Clerk, would you read that resolution, please?
Resolution R34-2021, introduced by Robin Jones, Council President, co-sponsors at the request of the administration. Public hearing January 19, 2021, date of introduction February 8, 2021. Whereas the council has determined that it is in the public interest to authorize the Glen Arden Police Department to purchase 2 in-car radios and 1 portable police radio for use by its police officers to increase the public health and safety. And whereas the council has previously approved in the budget the purchase of police equipment to outfit its police officers. And whereas it is necessary to purchase 2 in-car radios, 700 to 800 megahertz mid-power mobile for installation in 2 police vehicles from Motorola Solutions, Inc. at a price of $4,190.55 per radio as per the invoice attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. And whereas it is necessary to purchase one portable radio, 700 to 800 megahertz APX 600 model 3.5 and accessories from Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the total amount of $4,231.30 to properly outfit a Glenarm police officer per invoice attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. And whereas Motorola radios with the proper specifications can be purchased from Motorola Solutions, Inc. for the same price as obtained under a competitively bid contract with Prince George's County. And whereas the purchase is authorized without a formal bid process pursuant to Section 818B of the City Charter. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of Glenarm, Maryland, sitting in regular session this 8th day of February 2021 as follows. 1, that the purchase from Motorola Solutions, Inc. of 2 in-car radios, 700 to 800 megahertz mid-power for installation from Motorola Solutions, Inc. for a total amount of $8,381.10 per the proposed attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. B, and it is hereby approved. And 3, that the purchase from Motorola Solutions, Inc. for one portable radio, 700 to 800 megahertz APX 600 model 3.5 and accessories for the total amount of $4,231.30 per the proposal attached as Exhibit A to this resolution. B, and it is hereby approved. And 4, the total amount in the amount of $12,756.39 for the 3 police radios and accessories shall be made from the capital projects outlay support equipment line item 8367308010 in the budget. And 5, this resolution shall take effect immediately upon passage.
Thank you, Council Clerk. Is there a motion to adopt Resolution R34, 2021?
So move.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Councilman Herring and Councilwoman Smallwood. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, Council Clerk, would you take the roll, please?
Councilwoman Eason?
Yes.
Councilman Herring?
Yes.
Councilwoman Smallwood?
Yes.
Councilman Williams?
Yes.
Councilwoman Wilson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Ferguson?
Yes.
Councilwoman Jones?
Yes.
7 yeses.
All right, Resolution R34, 2021 passes. All right, so that concludes our legislation for the evening. We'll move now to the City Manager's report. Mr. George.
Thank you, Council President. My full report is in the packet, so I'm just going to hit some of the highlights like I did last week. Karen and I, with Human Resources, worked on the update to the employee handbook that really comes off of the one that Ms. Smallwood had done so much work on. So we worked on that, had that vetted by the attorney, and that's something we'll be talking about tomorrow night. We are moving along quickly with the budget. I've been through it completely. Karen and I are going to be looking at the salaries and adjusting those to right size them up. And then this week I have meetings planned with all of the senior team to go over the individual budgets so we can hit that pre-April meeting date that I talked about last time. We're going to try to get it to you really in the first week of April and beat that deadline by a week or so. So we're on track doing that. The legislation that's coming out next month is to get the water and sewer contractor approved to do the tie-off at MLK. We are also hopefully going to have a resolution for you all to consider to have the electrical tied off as well, because we need both of those done so that we can get the demo contractor on board. So my next task this week is to work quickly with CPJ to get the electrical contractor identified in a contract prepared for you for the consideration of the mayor and the council. Finally, my report says that we oversaw the preparations of the relief bags, but a quick update. Thanks very much to all the council members that came out to help us hand out the bags on Friday and Saturday. We were graced with some really nice weather. We got lucky. We thought we were going to get rained out on Friday, and instead we didn't. It was a little chilly, but there was some sun out there. Very, very, very grateful for the council members' help. My staff did a fantastic job. Karen and Leah and Howard and the whole DPW crew really pitched in. The ladies from finance came out, from the police department. So we really had a good showing of staff that came out to help hand out the bags. In total, including the bags that the council nicely agreed to take to some of their residents and their neighbors, we figured we gave out about 300 bags. So a good number. We were certainly hoping for more, but 300 is a great number. And we're going to be planning another giveaway probably in early April. When the weather gets a little bit warmer, we'll get the word out a little bit sooner to make sure that everyone is aware of the date. I know that there was an issue with the postcards getting to some of the residents. We have a plan to basically work around that so we won't be at the mercy of the postal carriers to get it to you. So we're going to work a solution for that. Otherwise, that's my report, Madam President. Any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Does any council members have any questions for the city manager?
Yes, Madam President, I have a question.
Councilwoman Wilson.
Yes, Mr. George, I had a request in for the meetings to be shown on the cable, and I haven't seen any results for that yet. We talked on Saturday about the cable not being shown for a period of time, and whereas nothing was being shown. However, I can say that I do see the COVID information on there now. I don't know what the problem was previously, but at least that's on. But I still have that request in, and I'd like to see some action being taken on it. So where exactly are we?
We have two contractors that are giving us a bid on what needs to be done so that we can regain access and have the videos, convert them from Zoom. So I'm expecting a pricing from at least one of them this week. Hopefully the other one this week, if not early next week. We did identify a problem with why sometimes the cable, the text feed seems to fade out on us. We discovered today that the computer is basically going to a login lockout screen. When we edit the computer from remotely from our desks, it actually locks out the computer. I've been in touch with T-Spec, and they're going to get into that TV studio computer and remove the login screen so that when we make our updates, we no longer lock it out. The other issue is that's a Windows computer, and as you all know, they have Windows computers. Whenever Windows pushes an update, it automatically restarts the machine, which then again returns it to the login screen. So T-Spec is going to work with us to remove the login screen. So it's basically just kind of a dumb terminal, and it will be up and running the whole time. We won't have to worry about getting locked out. So we're trying to work on that. As soon as I have anything on those bids, I'll definitely push those forward to the council so you all can see where we are.
And Mr. George, I'd like for you to personally keep me in the loop, please.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Wilson. Is there any other questions from the council for Mr. George? Councilwoman Eason?
Yeah, Mr. George, I just want to commend you for getting all the bags and everything out. One of the citizens asked me, because you had the code book in the bag, the only citizens that received the code book were the 300 that received the bags. So are you going to put together a plan so that all of the code books will be delivered to all of the households in the city so everyone is aware of the codes?
Yes, I think we will need to do that. I'd like to chat with Councilmember Herring about that since the code book was his project. But we could certainly work on a way to get that out. Like I said, we are planning on doing another COVID bag giveaway in April, and hopefully we will have more people come and pick them up. We are keeping track of everyone that did come and get them. So once we have as many handed out as we can, we will know which addresses still need to receive the code book, and we can work that into our plan for how we're going to distribute them going forward.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you, Councilwoman Easton. Any other council questions?
Council President, I have a question.
Councilwoman Smallwood.
Mr. George, can you explain to me as to why majority of the citizens did not get the plastic cards in the mail?
Honestly, I can't explain it to you. All I know is that we follow the same process and procedure that we did before I joined the city with regard to the cards that were sent out for the census and for other things. We had our contractor create the bulk mail postcards. We paid the postage fee, and we had them delivered to the post offices so that they would be delivered out much the same way that the census postcards were delivered. We're not sure why a number of them were not delivered to the addresses. My staff has reached out to the two postmasters for those post offices to find out if we can get an understanding as to why they were not delivered. But we don't have an explanation because, like I said, we follow the same process and procedure as was done last time. But for whatever reason, this time the cards just simply weren't delivered. That's why next time we're looking for the April thing to start earlier, maybe a month, even as early as March, to get postcards out, and thinking about actually individually labeling them with labels that came from the Christmas card list that the council used. We found that to be a very accurate list. We had very few that bounced back or returned. So it'll take us a little bit more man hours to do it. But I think we're going to have postcards printed up. We'll individually sticker them and send them out, and hopefully that will eliminate the bulk mail issue of cards not getting to the residents.
Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Smallwood. Is there
Madam
any other?
President?
Councilman Herring?
Yes. Mr. George, I just want to know, how did the snow removal process go with this last snowstorm we had?
The process went well. I was in contact, me and Howard were in regular contact with Ray. We decided to do minimal salting because the forecast kind of dropped quickly from 3 to 6 inches down to 1 to 3. So we salted the hills, the steep hills and the bridges that often freeze quickly, but we didn't do a whole lot of other salting. And Ray was kind of on site and watched the snow as it fell. And when we got to a point where we realized that rain was about to come in, it was going to wipe it away, and there wasn't a whole lot of snow on the ground, we let Ray took off and was done. So we tried to keep the cost as low as possible. We had Ray on site in case it got worse, but we kept the salting to a minimum so we wouldn't expend unnecessary resources.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Councilman Herring. Any other questions for the city manager from the council? All right, hearing none, we'll have the Chief of Police's report. Chief O'Donnell.
Good evening, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
First of all, thank you, Council, for our equipment, and good evening, everybody. On December 10th, Captain Jackson attended the Frost Community's monthly meeting where he discussed some incidents that occurred over there. They did have a theft from auto. Those have stopped now. Had a conference call on December 14th with the Red Oak community. They had some drug issues and some out-of-state tag issues. Those have been resolved. On December 15th, Lieutenant Robinson, Sergeant Richardson, Miss Jones from the police department packed over 50 bags of toys that were distributed to the children that attended Judge Sylvania Woods and Ardmore Almwick Elementary. A thanks to Wegmans for donating all the toys to Glenarden. On December 16th, about 2 in the morning, officers received a call on Pin Oak for suspicious people that appeared to be breaking into autos. When the officers arrived on the scene, they observed someone throw objects into the woods. As a result, they recovered a handgun and an amount of drugs. They have obtained arrest warrants and DNA warrants for the people involved, and the case is pending in Prince George's County Circuit Court. On December 18th, Lieutenant Robinson and Sergeant Richardson assisted the Glenarden Housing Authority with their Christmas toy and food giveaway. On December 24th, I had a conference call with the manager and the owner of the Hampton Inn. We were having some issues with defumados up there. That has been resolved. They've hired a security firm. Also, I just want to remind everybody, please keep an eye on your car over the weekend over in the new community, Glenarden Hills. We had a vehicle that had 4 tires stolen. So please look out for your neighbors. We haven't had tires stolen in a while, so that kind of gets me worried that we may have a little rash of that. I submitted all the police officer and civilian employees' information from the police department to the Office of Emergency Management, and the officers that requested COVID shots have already received both of their shots. And we participated in the coffee club. Also, Chief Velez from the Prince George's County Police Department participated. We talked about the various crime trends throughout the county. And I'd like to advise that the Glenarden Police Department had a slight reduction in crime for calendar year 2020, which will probably put us in the top 5 safest cities in Maryland. So we're kind of proud of that. I talked to the manager of the housing authority, and they said they heard some gunshots on Christmas Day. We never received a call through communications, but I would like to say that last week, one of our biggest problems in the Glenarden Housing Authority was evicted, and they're no longer on the property. And that's my report.
Thank you, Chief O'Donnell. Is there any, I'm sorry, are there any questions by the council to the chief? Councilman Williams.
Good evening, Chief.
Good evening, Councilman.
Couple questions. How many officers requested the COVID-19 test out of the 16, 17?
4.
4. Okay. Primarily, I'm just noticing something. Did you report in your report? I don't recall. Did you report anything for January? I heard all December. Shouldn't that have been in January report?
This is from December through January. I don't have the exact dates on here. So it's the beginning of December to the beginning of January.
To the beginning of January?
Well, let's say 2 weeks into January.
2 weeks into January?
Yes.
Okay. And that's because of when the reports are, you are required to give the reports to the council clerk.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that needs to be adjusted. Okay. All right, thank you.
Any other questions from council to the chief? All right, well, hearing none, we'll move on to the city treasurer's report. Mr. Bratton.
Good evening, citizens, council, and administration. The city treasurer's report includes a statement of revenues and expenditures for the month ended December 31st, 2020. In December, we had revenues of $38,004, expenses of $380,940. These activities resulted in the year-to-date total revenues exceeding the year-to-date total expenses by $1,259,578. We have completed the FY 2020 audit report, which will be presented to the citizens by the auditors on Wednesday. I'm working with the city manager and the department heads on preparing the FY 2022 budget. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Mr. Bratton. Are there any questions by the council to the city treasurer?
Madam President.
Councilman Williams.
Mr. Bratton, did I hear you say revenue over expenses? We have $1.2 million revenue over expenses for this fiscal year?
Yes.
Okay, we got 4 months left into the fiscal year. What other major expenses do we have?
Well, the regular expenses.
I said major. I didn't say regular. Major expenses coming up.
Some of the expenses would be expenses for the purchase of the police cars.
All right, but that's less than $100,000. All right, so what is the cash position as of the end of the month? Remember, because we talked about your bank reconciliation, but not just what's on the bank statement. Because the reason why I'm asking this question is because when we was going through the budget process, it was alleged that we were going to be in a budget deficit this year. And so basically what I just heard you say, we 1.2 right now.
Yes.
Revenue over expenses, and that our only major expenses that's going to come out of that 1.2 outside the regular expenses is going to be the police cars. So with that projection, would you say we are scheduled to be having another surplus?
It appears that we may have a surplus for this year, correct?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Wilson. Councilman Williams. Is there any other questions by the council for our treasurer, Mr. Bratton?
Yes, Madam President.
Councilman Herring.
Yes, Mr. Bratton. I'm looking at the summary page on the finance report. I think it's page 1.
Yeah.
And it's showing the salaries. Is that averaging per month $132,000 in salary expense?
That's about right.
That's about right. So we got 6 more months going this year, right?
No.
Mr. Bratton. Mr. Bratton, so there's 6 more months to go. This report is until December, right?
This report is from December, correct?
Okay, so we still got January, February, March, April, May, and June. So that's 6 more months. And we're going to be spending about $132,000 a month in salary expenses.
Yes.
Okay, so that is about $780,000. Something like that.
120, you say? Yeah, about
780.
Yes.
For the next 6 months, it'll be about $780,000 we're going to spend on that. And then you factor in the police cars, which are running about $100,000. So that's another $800 and something thousand. So whatever surplus we have at this point, it isn't going to look like it's going to be much of one, but it will be one.
it's not going to be this amount that we have currently, because most of our revenues are front loaded where we get our property taxes at the end of the year. And then the expenses start to overtake the revenues. But we have a
because we also have because we also have like the insurance payments, which run pretty high too, especially the IWIF.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I just wanted to be sure. No one was assuming we're going to have this huge surplus at the end of the year when, you know, we got all these expenses that's coming on board over the next 6 months when we don't get any revenue. All right, thank you.
Are there any other questions from the council to the city treasurer? All right, hearing none.
President.
I'm sorry, Councilman Williams.
I just wanted to let the citizens know, again, that those who've been tracking us, that we spent months working on the budget, and that some of the comments, I don't have to tell you, because most of y'all was there, about how broke we were going to be this year. So, and I asked treasurer, based on my calculations, to confirm, does it appear that we're going to have a surplus? And he confirmed. But as you all know, it was alleged that that we're possibly going to have either $200,000 or $300,000 deficit this year. So that's the reason why I was asking those questions. So you can, the citizens could see that stewards with your money, and that once you see and hear the audit report and see what we have, past savings, and currently, you'll see that we're in good financial standings. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilman Williams. All right. If there are no more questions for the treasurer from the council members, we'll move on into the next part of our agenda, which would be citizens' comments and questions for 5 minutes. Please raise your hand that I might be able to see. I see 2 hands already. And we'll start with Ms. Farid. Good evening.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I just have a couple of questions. Mr. George, the code book that was handed out in the PPE bags, is it possible that that can be posted on the city website so that we could save some trees and also just make it accessible to more people? It's just a question, you don't have to answer right now. And the audit report, is that going to be made available to citizens, and in what format? Like, is it going to be mailed to us, or is it going to be made available on the website? And next, Mayor Estes, I think you're on the call. You haven't submitted a report for citizens review again, and just wanting to understand from you if there's a reason you have not submitted a report. Particularly given the fact that citizens have made comments requesting that report several months already. And we haven't seen anything, so I'm not sure if there was a particular reason why. And then lastly, what's the status of the election committee?
Okay, let's start with the city manager. Mr. George, would you answer on the code book and the status of the election committee?
We can certainly I'll work with Councilmember Herring. We can certainly put the code book online. If we can get an original copy or a digital copy, we can certainly do that. That's easy enough done. The election committee has been formed. We have reached out to them to do a doodle poll to try to get a first meeting scheduled. I believe I just got an email earlier this evening. I think they're looking at having their first meeting on February 10th at 7 o'clock. We are going to hopefully have the county representative will be there as well. We have forwarded to the committee all of the election documents that we have that were used 4 years ago. So I think they're in good standing to get rolling. So we'll be there to help with that first kickoff meeting, at which time staff will kind of take a step back and so that we're not in the process, and the committee will then take over from there, working with the county to coordinate the rest of the process.
Thank you, Mr. George. Ms. Farid, as far as the audit report on February the 16th, I think that's next week, at the public hearing, the auditors will present the audit to the citizens at that time. And then once it's completed, I believe it will be available for citizens to receive. But they will do the presentation at the public hearing on February the 16th. Okay, Mayor Estes, if you're on, would you answer the question for Ms. Farid?
Yes, hi, this is Mayor Estes. Ms. Farid, if you may recall from the previous meeting last month, I explained that there is a disagreement between myself and the council as far as the submission of my report. Being the same situation as with the chief's report, is that I, as the mayor, I'm not required by the charter to submit my report to the council on the second week of the month. However, the council has indicated that they have their own rules and that all department heads, including the mayor, which is not in writing, is required to submit their report. I have argued on multiple occasions with the council and the presidents of the council that my report should be more comprehensive of the entire month prior to the council meeting, and that I had requested that my report be heard at the work session, and that I would submit the draft prior to the work session. However, they've made a decision that that is not acceptable. So I have not prepared any reports for the past 3 months as a result of the council not deciding to accept my report.
Okay, I'll just say if I could, President Jones, that I'm not really sure how that serves the citizens. I think, you know, regardless of the time frame or what you're trying to work out with the council, it would really be helpful in some format, even if, I don't know if this would be possible, but at least during these meetings, if you gave some sort of verbal report what's going on, just so that the citizens are aware, that would be really helpful. Thank you.
Well, if I could make a comment regarding that as well, Ms. Farid, when you first came to Glen Arden, my first year as the mayor was very contentious, and the council began the prohibition of my doing my reports the week of the work session and the week of the general membership, because they wanted to censor my mayor's report. From that point forward, my reports were considered contentious, that they were not, that the council wanted control over my report. And these are the issues that have plagued me throughout my term as the mayor. And this is just another example of that contentiousness, because for a year, I was not being challenged to submit my report for the work session and for the general council meeting. But when Ms. Jones came into office, there was some disagreement again. She wanted to have me submit my report back to 2 weeks after the of the month prior to the general meeting, which is a month. And that's where we are. So I just wanted to let you know the history of this report and why it's been very frustrating, very difficult for me to, deal with this problem, and the sense that you're right. This is not in the benefit of the citizens. And hopefully this challenge will discontinue, and hopefully in the next coming months, I can present my report.
Does that answer your question, Ms. Farid?
No, it doesn't. It just gives. No,
I'm not.
I get it. We're not getting a report.
Yeah, but please understand. With all due respect to the mayor, I did ask him what could we do to get his report on the table, and I have called him several times wanting to speak about how to get his report. In fact, I asked him the day that the report might have been due in his office. Do you have your report? Are we ready? If you have it within the next 2 or 3 days before the work session, I will gladly present it. But he had no report. So I mean, this talk of contention between me and him concerning a report, we haven't even had a discussion since I've been council president, other than me requesting his report. I do have an issue with, in fact, I had an issue with the timeline that was sent out this month for the department heads reports, because the department head report was requested the first week in February, which I thought, well, we've been 2 days on a snow event. And the council clerk just came back in the office on Wednesday, and then she has a calendar put out saying that she wants the department heads reports on Friday. And I thought that was not a sufficient time for department heads to report, present reports. But I would like to have a discussion with the entire council, because what I see in the charter is that those reports aren't due until the Tuesday before the work session. But we need to sit down and discuss that about department head reports. And Mayor Estes, once again, my phone is open, my door is open. If you want to sit down and talk about what we can do to present your report, let's do that. Like you said, this is a disservice to the citizens that want to see a report from the mayor, some kind of way that we can work this out. It's not a challenge that cannot be worked out, but I cannot work it out by myself. It has to be communications on both parts. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next hand I saw up was Mrs. Delamar.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to just say, I'm going to keep my comments short and sweet. I hope everyone is safe. I wanted to personally call out Captain Jackson and Officer Robinson and Chief O'Donnell, as so I do not live on the Glen Arden Housing Authority property, but I am very aware of things that happen over there, and my heart goes out to a lot of the citizens that live over there. So I wanted to personally thank Chief O'Donnell and Captain Jackson and Officer Robinson for the recent work that they've done in partnership with the Glen Arden Housing Authority. So thank you publicly. I also wanted to personally / publicly congratulate Chief O'Donnell on his 52 years of service. You don't look 52, you probably look close to 35. So congratulations on your 52 years of community civic engagement. It's a sacrificial job, and it's not easy. And I'm not a police officer, but I just wanted to personally thank you publicly in that way. And I just wanna also just wrap up my comment, just piggybacking off of what Ms. Farid just said in regards to the mayor's report and the wrap up, that it's a huge disservice to us citizens when we don't hear it. And I personally feel, Mayor Estes, you owe it to us, please, as citizens of this city, to please provide a report to us, and you and the council work it out. It shouldn't be a power struggle. It should just be something that's done in the betterment for the betterment of the citizens of Glenarden. So thank you, and that's all I have to share.
Thank you, Mrs. Delamar. Mr. Aurora Montgomery, Richard.
Good evening, council members and citizens. I just have a couple of comments, actually, nothing negative. Well, first of all, I mean, I do want to echo Ms. Farid and Ms. Guillaume Delamar in saying that, yes, I think it is a disservice to the citizens not to have the mayor's report. And I just want to just ask the council and the mayor to please work together and find a way to come to a solution so that the citizens are informed and updated on what the mayor is doing for the city. I think that's very important to the citizens. Secondly, I just wanted to make a suggestion in response to Councilwoman Wilson's concern with the meetings being televised. I know that Zoom has the capability to stream live to YouTube. And I mean, I'm not sure how the audio visual is set up, but if you streamed live to YouTube, first of all, that would give the citizens another venue to watch the meetings as they're happening. I know that everyone may not have access to a computer, which is probably why they can't access Zoom as well. But if they can access YouTube somehow, I mean, YouTube, I mean, if you have a smart TV, you can get to YouTube. And they will be able to watch the YouTube stream as opposed to not being able to watch it at all. Additionally, I mean, perhaps maybe there's a way that you can, stream it to the YouTube, have it on a laptop or something there at the municipal building somewhere, maybe have a camera pointing to it that then gets televised on the channels. I know that with my church, we just recently started doing this. We have a free YouTube account, so it doesn't even cost anything to stream to YouTube. And again, it's just, I know it's not a permanent fix, but at least it'll be a Band-Aid fix in the interim while something more permanent is put into place. And I think we're having something like that may even satisfy the concerns of Councilwoman Wilson. That's all I have for tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aurora Montgomery. Mr. Thomas?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, good evening, everyone, and congratulations to the chief as well. I just have a quick question about the police cars. Now, I maybe overlooked some things, but on those purchase of those police cars, are they suited, ready to go, or y'all just purchasing the car itself? Okay. What I mean by are they suited with the radios and all that and above, the sirens and all that stuff? Are they suited, ready to go?
Well, with everything that was approved tonight, they're ready to go, yes.
Okay, that was one other question. Also, my other question to the chief is also too, that was a concern. Chief, did you ever get your tires?
I'm working on it.
Yeah, I want the councilman to know that you are due for 4 tires. We can't have you riding on bald tires in the city.
Thank you.
So if you can look into that, the chief need tires on his vehicle.
Excuse me, I mean, did you see him riding on bald tires?
I saw him riding on bald tires, and I said, Chief, you can't ride on bald tires, Chief. We have to, you got to keep us safe, and we have to keep you safe as well. So,
especially in inclement weather.
Exactly. So if the councilmen and councilwomen, please look into that. And if a citizen noticed something, it needs to be checked out. And That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Just 1 minute, Mrs. Carter. Chief, let me ask you a question about the cars also. So you're saying that upon delivery, all of these gadgets and gadgets and things will be, the SUVs will be outfitted?
The cars will go from the dealership to the outfitting. Okay. And that's where they'll be outfitted and the radios will be installed.
Okay, so when it's delivered to us, the city, then
it'll be ready to go.
Ready to go. Okay.
So one other question too, Chief. You said radio. What about the laptops? Are y'all getting laptops as well?
Laptops come with the cars.
Okay. That's what I'm. All right.
All right. Thank you, Mrs. Carter.
Good evening. I'm sorry I was late coming into the meeting, and my issue may have been addressed, but I would like some clarity. Could you tell me the status of our, they were asking about Zooming and Facebook and that FaceTime, and could you tell me the status of our cable station, where we are with our cable station and how that can be utilized?
Yep. Okay. Once again, the city manager said that we are in the process of getting bids to redo our cable station. And I want citizens to understand, as working in a communications technology company such as Verizon, it's once you hit that remote and turn your television on, believe me, it's a whole lot more behind that than just hitting that button. So, just be patient with us. We're Mr. George, if you would go ahead and once again, reiterate the issues behind the cable television.
Right, we've had, so the cable TV, we have the ability to put out basically a PowerPoint presentation. So we can put out all the information that we normally put out on a website is out there, and Leah does a really good job of getting that out on a regular basis. In terms of getting video, live video, the Zoom on there, we have 2 contractors that have looked at the equipment and are preparing bids for what needs to happen so that we can get the Zoom recorded meetings on that system. In order to do live stream Zoom on the cable, we're going to need new equipment because we don't currently have the physical technology to go directly from live stream into a live broadcast, but we might be able to take the Zoom recorded meetings and put them on a loop and kind of replay them the day after the meeting happens on a loop, and we can do that. And that's the first step that the contractor's looking to do. Eventually, with the new website, we do want to live stream our meetings on the web and hopefully be able to use the technology to also live stream them if they're in Zoom on the television as well.
What about management of our cable station? What is the status of a manager for are we not considering that? I think that's more a question for the council. Is consideration being, or for the mayor, is consideration being given to management of our cable station? Where are we with that?
Mr. George?
Let me give a quick answer and then the mayor can jump in. One of the things we've asked the contractors to provide is a quotation for a service agreement for them to run the digital aspect of running the Zoom meetings for us, having someone come on site and running the computer, the monitors and the cameras once we go live again. They can do it remotely when we're in Zoom, and when we're back in person, have them come in live. I know the mayor has discussed having a communications department. That's something that we're also looking into. We want to see what the price is, because obviously if you can have it outsourced, the city saves on the fringe and the extra costs. We don't have insurance costs and benefit costs and anything like that. If you have a contractor, you can often do that a little with a cost savings to the city. So we're investigating both of those. And if the mayor wants to throw in a few more points on that, I'd be happy to listen to that.
Yes, hi, Mayor Carter. All due respect, we have terminated the contract with the contractor, Mr. Butler, and we have moved forward with proposing a communications department in the 2021 budget. However, the council tabled the decision to restructure our budget to include a communications department until the 2022 budget, which is of course due in April. But what my intentions are to have our communications department, which is standard in most of our municipalities, where we have a person that operates the communications department and the cable studio, as well as the production area, and to also have a web master and social media expert underneath the communications department. So we would combine all of our point of information into one department. I would further encourage that in our preparing of the budget for 2022, that we also have some type of person that is our point of information, because what we're now getting from the city government is that we don't have a person that actually provides, the one person that provides the press releases or any other information that needs to go out publicly to the county, to our city residents, or to the state, as far as what the city of Glenarden is doing and what information that we can provide, and also deals with FOIAs as well. So that is something that we hope to have a better structured communications department in 2022, and that we could then have a self-operating cable service that comes out of our communications department, and also to reinstate the Citizens Advisory Committee that is supposed to be part of our communications department per the city charter. So those are my objectives for the 2022 budget, since the council did not accept the communications department in the 2021 budget.
Then Madam President, can I ask then, are they, since we do not have a communications or cable station budget, are we maintaining the funds that are coming from the funds that are coming from the PEG grant and all of those funds that are coming into the city? Are they being maintained and separated? That's my concern, since we are not using the cable station.
Well, we are using it, and it's still being maintained. But as far as the separation of PEG grant monies, the treasurer would have to answer those questions. Or did Mr. George, did you want to expound on that?
Well, we do have a separate PEG fund, and Mr. Bratton can describe it. But we, per the franchise agreement, those monies are to be kept separate. So we do have a separate PEG fund that enumerates how much money we get from the cable, and that is one of the fund balances that the treasurer keeps track of.
At the next public meeting, could we get an accounting of those PEG grant funds, please?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Bratton, the next public meeting is going to be the public hearing where the auditor is going to present the audit to the public. So maybe that would be a good time to present that to the public.
Yes.
Thank you.
And when is that date, Ms. Jones? I'm sorry.
The public hearing is February the 16th.
The 16th.
Yes, ma'am. That's the next Tuesday.
Right.
The third Tuesday.
Right.
I'm just trying to verify myself.
And that's going to be the audit report, and Mr. Bratton will have that information.
He says that he will, and we'll also have our legislation on that
day as well. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. I think I saw Mrs. Cross's hand was up.
Thank you, Madam President, and to all the citizens. I hope that this evening brings you kind, spirited. I am wanting to send a compliment to the council for this meeting. I thank you for all the resolutions that you have passed this evening that will ensure the safety and security of this city. To the chief, thank you again, to the captain, to all the police officers that are securing us every evening. Yes, we have heard the gunshots, and yes, we hear the sirens, and yes, we sleep safely because we know you're on your job. And for the council, we thank you for approving these resolutions to ensure just that much more safety is able to be done. To the city manager, when the election committee actually starts to move forward, just one request that they reach out to the Ethics Commission because the financial disclosures will need to be done sooner than later. And per the charter, they are reserved for 4 years. We do have a question on the table as to how long we'll keep those for those that are unsuccessful in their bid for office, elected office. But just note that that has to be done in the same process. We want to also acknowledge, all the citizens that are coming out and trying their best to stay connected to city business. That is really critical to understand what's going on into the city. And the website committee is working hard to try and bring a new website. So now when you click on things, you actually get the feedback. To Mayor Estes, I really appreciate the comments that you have put forward on actually building a division or a directorate that supports the media center. We really need a team to be bigger than just one meeting at a time. We have children that are doing great things that we need to advertise, that we need to showcase, because we don't have the city center that we need to bring them forward. This is an opportunity for us to bring the children forward as well. Get into the school systems where they're doing plays or productions or even online things. A lot of the students are doing online recitals right now. These are things that cable access channel can be doing for us as far as citizens. So I do appreciate the 2022 budget that will bring forward an actual committee or division or directorate housed with the right type of people hired to actually make No Kidding, this cable network, the reality and dream that I'm sure it was meant for. And not just one meeting at a time, but to be a true deliverer of information for its citizens. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Mrs. Cross. Any other questions? Just let me make sure that there's no one that hasn't spoken yet. Okay, Ms. Thomas, go ahead. There's nobody else.
Me or him?
Me. Quick question. I totally forgot. Okay, so on the communications of the televised, were there any resolutions to rebuild this cable system? Have y'all gotten contractors in to come in and give y'all estimates on updating this television thing? Have y'all? I don't know. I'm Miss East. Who is that looking at? Councilman Easton's looking. So Maybe she's got an answer or something. I don't know. But do anyone know anything about? Have y'all received any estimates on updating the whole system, getting it running for this fiscal year? Can you help me with that?
Not yet. Like the city manager said, that they have 2 contractors that are looking at it. They're putting together a bid for the city as what needs to be done in order to bring it into the 21st century, number one, and then to how we will bring someone in to maintain it and keep things going. So there have been people in looking, and we are working on that. It's not it's not sitting dormant.
So is there a deadline for it?
Not just yet. We just got, I think city manager, Mr. George, you just had the persons come in like last week and they did a walkthrough.
Yeah, we're hoping to get the quote back this week. He reached out to me on Monday and said that he was running through the numbers. He actually brought a second technician through to take another look at all the equipment and hopes to have a preliminary set of thoughts and quote to us this week.
So are you just using one contractor, or are you using several, getting several estimates?
We're getting several. We have two have already come out, and I've contacted a third and just having a hard time getting them to get back with me. These are folks that I reached out to some of the other managers in Prince George's County to see who our peers are using as third-party contractors. So we get some people that are kind of tested and proven. And that's the group that I'm trying to get on board to come in and take a look at our system.
Okay, thank you, Mr. George.
All right, Mr. Richard Montgomery, you had another question.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to my previous comments with regard to the YouTube streaming. I just wanted to be clear that, I want to make sure that I'm clear that when you're streaming to YouTube Live, there is no additional equipment needed for that. Any presenter, anyone that's presenting on Zoom and has the presenter access can stream right to their YouTube channel. I mean, the only thing that's really, the only additional piece that's needed would be a YouTube channel to stream to. And this is all something that could be set up within, my God, I mean, in less than 48 hours, you could be streaming on YouTube. So, I mean, again, just a Band-Aid suggestion, you know, because I'm sure that, you know, I know Mr. George is working on the contractors and getting a real system in place, but, you know, but that could take time, you know, and honestly, I mean, if you put the work in now, you could be up and streaming on YouTube for next week's meeting. So just a suggestion, you know, I don't want to have to deprive citizens of not being able to attend, you know, attend the meetings just because they don't have access to YouTube or to Zoom, or don't know how to access Zoom, and so on and so forth. So again, I just want to put that out there, and I'm happy to assist with it if necessary. I have no problem with that. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Mrs. Cross.
Thank you, Madam President. I just got one on the state enterprise zone. That was a proposal that was written into last year, but it's listed as 2021 legislation. For the city manager, have we taken steps towards the state enterprise zone, the program offered by the state and local governments for tax credits and assistance and encouraging the expansion of businesses and attracting new businesses to the city of Glenarden?
Not since I've arrived, but obviously in the middle of COVID, it's pretty difficult to get anyone to want to come in and expand and grow. That's certainly something that we can look at in the spring as things start to loosen up a little bit and the vaccine is out. I've got an economic development background, so we could certainly look into accessing those programs for businesses and business attraction.
If I can chime in, Ms. Cross, this is Mayor Estes. Again, I wanted to make a point that in my 2021 budget, I did propose economic development departments. However, the council asked to withdraw that department from my proposal. And hopefully I can push that again. I do believe that economic development is an important part of the future of Glen Arden, and hopefully in the next budget that I can do a better job of convincing the city council of the essence and value of having this economic development as part of our basic administrative responsibilities for moving forward with the city of Glen Arden.
All right. Any other citizens' comments? I have Mr. Curtis.
Sorry, I had one question about the PPP giveaway. Was there anything left over?
Oh, yes.
It slipped my mind. That was this weekend and we forgot to go and get a bag. So is it going to be another giveaway?
Okay. The city manager is planning a giveaway again in the spring, but if you want a PPE bag, you can either call City Hall and make arrangements with the administration, the city manager, and either you can come up and get it. You know, they'll at the back door, they'll hand it out, or we can bring it to your doorstep if you'd like and set it on the doorstep.
Oh, okay. So,
you know, just call City Hall and tell them 301-773-2100, and the receptionist will give the receptionist your information and your how you want it to be delivered.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Ms. Crutchfield.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. Councilwoman Robin Jones and everyone else. Question. So I heard manager. Okay, I was trying to get together. George, that you mentioned that the codes were in the bag. I know Farad said you would have them posted, which is great, but I didn't receive one in the bag. So perhaps all the bags might not have the code books.
They were all supposed to have the code book. I know we did a really good job of trying to make sure that everyone did have a code book. If yours did not, we could certainly get you a book. You could certainly swing by the office and we can hand you one, or if you shoot me your address, we could send you one. But the intent was that every bag we packed had both a code book, the 3 PPEs, and then also a flyer encouraging everybody to join our our new email list. So that all of that should have been in all the bags. So I apologize if your bag did not have a book.
I have the PPEs, but I didn't have the other items. So perhaps the other bags going out, you might want to check and see if those things are in there. If you have more, I can definitely come by.
Absolutely.
So, but it was great to receive the items. I greatly appreciate you all.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions from citizens? All right. I'd like to take this opportunity to say thank you all. I had 42 people on the in the meeting, and I appreciate you citizens for participating. I try to keep the meetings down to a certain time, not to have long meetings, so we won't get over too much. But I'd like to say in celebration of Black History Month, I want to recommend a reading, not only to the council, but to the citizens, if you can get a hold of it. I do have a couple of extra copies. I don't mind giving away, but this is a book by, written by Malcolm X, by the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. It's called Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community? He talks about how to build community. And even though he wrote this in 1967, it still is applicable to today's community as far as building community and working together in a peaceful, nonviolent way. So like I said, I have some extra copies if the council wants one, I'm more than happy to give you one. If I have anything left over, if there's a citizen that wants one, I will surely get that to you. Just send me an email, or once again, you can call the City Hall, 301-773-2100. With that being said, if there's nothing further, it is now 9:05. Oh, I'm sorry. The administration wanted me once again to mention the distribution of the PPE. If anyone wants PPE, you may call City Hall, 301-773-2100, and the receptionist will take your name, and you can decipher with her how you want it to be delivered, whether if you want to pick it up or if you want someone to bring it to you. There are some council persons that are more than happy to deliver, and we have no issue with that. But there's still PPE available to any citizens. All right. So, like I said, it is now 9:06, and this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all so much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Night. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you, everyone.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.